Hey everybody, welcome to Brothers Forge Gaming. Today we're going to talk about disc rot, how to look out for it, and some other collection care tips coming up next. Alright everybody, thanks for joining us here at Brothers Forge Gaming. I'm Easy, and if you're like me, you're still out there in 2023, adding to the collection, hunting games, and just having a good time, right? But the thing about that is, it's getting harder and harder, a little bit more rare to find, cart-based games. Some of that older, it's like everybody knows about it, everybody's selling it high prices. So what a lot you're finding, all that disc-based stuff, Xbox, PlayStation 2, real popular. It's what you're kind of seeing out there in the wild a lot. So the only bad thing about that, the last few years, there's been the idea of disc rot being thrown out there, and we figured we'd talk a little bit about that because we're coming across it. We just figure get some general knowledge out there. I'm sure it's already out there, but hey, you came here to see it, so it is what it is. So yeah, disc rot, when you're out there, you're hunting these disc games. A lot of them are dirty. You got fingerprints, you got scratches, and it's really hard to tell. And the reason that I'm actually making this video is because it just happened to me. I was out there, yard sailing. I get so excited for yard sale season, but you don't realize. I mean, you do realize it's just like boxes of some of these games. They're sitting out like in the weather, sun, rain, moisture, dew, all that stuff. Some people just let them, sit out all night. I've gotten some stuff that's been kind of like wet on the inside. Roughly, when you're looking for stuff, it's like, oh. And you got to really take into consideration when you're buying other people's stuff to add to your collection, that it could have, they weren't taking care of it that well, so it could have some faults, flaws, and that's where disc rot comes in. So if you've ever got, there's actually like the Xbox, or one of the Xbox straight up says it. It's like, this disc has disc rot. So they knew, it was a potential thing that could happen. A lot of them just come up as like unreadable discs. Hell, I had one that came up as like disc rot. I think it's the one that said disc rot, and then I was just testing it before this video, and then it actually worked again. So it's not even almost an end all apparently. But we are going to go over, we can show you a couple of things to look out for, a major no-no, because there's one that's really noticeable. It'll be real easy to spot. You'll be able to see it in your collection. It's like, it's, night and day. The other one is a little bit tougher to spot when you're hunting dirty games out in the wild, because it could be a couple of different things, and if you can't sit there and clean something up on the spot, you might be just taking a chance on it, and that's what can come back to bite you. The good thing about disc rot, let's explain a little bit about that. So it is basically, it's like a weird oxidization. There's layers of CDs that are like glued together, and you can get air bubbles in there from the types of adhesive. So the cheaper the CD, it would happen to more frequently because they had cheaper materials, glue and stuff like that. But anyway, so if you leave stuff in the extreme heats, if you get kind of like weathered, moisture things, if you get, a bunch of UV light, you can get little air pockets that will let in basically, it's not contagious or spreadable. Like if you find some at a yard sale and bring home a game, it's not going to infect your entire collection or something like that. But something to look for, if you are getting it, if it's your own personal stuff that you've had there for a long time, and then all of a sudden something has disc rot, you might want to check out your situation, because something might be going on if you're creating an atmosphere where that happens. and it's, you know, you can read, people went up and down. Some people said, oh, it's going to ruin, you know, your whole collection, discs don't last. Some people said, you know, it's not that big of a deal, it happens to 1 out of a million or whatever. And I'm kind of in the middle on that. I don't think it's going to be just randomly happening. You know, I have a lot of disc games, you know, I used to well over 1,000. And I have like maybe 2 that have very noticeable rot, and they're ones that I went out and both of them came from storage. One of the guys said he had bought a storage locker. The other one was a buddy had passed it on to me after storing it for like 10 years. And storage is one of the best things. So if you do hear the word, it's been stored for 10 years, something like that, you do want to make sure and check a little bit, and, you know, just see if everything's on the up and up, because that's one way you definitely can get it. So the 2 games in question here, one of them I just picked up. I thought it was cool, and this is what really spurred the video. It's Indigo Prophecy on the Xbox, and I was like, oh, that's cool, dude. That'll be fun. And then this always bummed me out, and I had never really gone over it. But years ago, a buddy brought me a lot from his storage, and he gave me a game that we used to play all the time. It was Jedi Knights Academy, or Jedi Academy, Jedi Knights, the first one. So, you know, really cool game, but it was the only one. Basically, I popped in a bunch of the games he brought, and it came up, and I think it actually said disc rot, and I was like, whoa, like that's crazy, you know. And then I pulled out the disc, and I was like, oh wow. And it was the very noticeable kind of disc rot. We'll get a close up in here too if we can't. If you don't see it right here, you know. So you can see that like coffee stain ish. Like usually, and it starts on the rim because it's coming in from the outside. So that is definite sign of disc rot. That is like the infection, and it'll come in and it'll spread. And this disc is done for, which is actually funny. I mean, I want to say that it's done for, but I did wipe it down and I put it in the Xbox 360, and it played. No, it did eventually come up with the error. So that's the bad thing about some of these, is the games start up, play. I was able to press start. I was able to like create a character, and then go in, and then it tells me that the disc is damaged and unplayable. And so you can see, you know, you saw that one. It's the same for Indigo Prophecy. I think that the game I just showed you was a little bit worse. This one, you know, you'll definitely, you can kind of see it up there, very top. You know, just looks like a little coffee stain or something. And yeah, you know, it's a real bummer. I wish I would have checked. But see, that's the kind of the hard point, is a lot of these, I had cleaned this. A lot of the games have, you know, scratches and fingerprints and things like that. So it is hard to see, but, you know, it's just something to look out for. Don't buy stuff that already is damaged like that. Like I said, though, it's not going to, you know, you bringing that home, if you buy 20 games and one of them has disc rot, it's not going to come home and spread it around or anything like that. But, you know, just something to look out for. We had a couple other discs we're going to show. Is this the one? We're going to show the differences. See, there's another form of disc rot, and it basically, I don't have a good example. So you can kind of, it's the easier one to see, I feel, and it kind of looks like a spray, a real gritty bunch of pinholes type thing. But you can actually, it creates light because it eats like little holes. It's almost like a rust, a non-spreadable, contagious rust that eats just the disc, you know, the single disc that it's on. But, you know, so you can kind of see that. We're going to go over some cleaning tips and stuff, just to, when you get home, and some care that you can do to just help prevent that, I guess, or just get the best, you know, idea to make sure if you really have disc rot, or if something can be like resurfaced or something like that. We have a couple of games just to show you. a quick, easy way before you break down and go do resurfacing. Uh, you can try this tactic. So you can see on this disc. You can kind of see a lot of like scratches, a lot of I can't quite tell if it's that kind of pinholes or if it's just a lot of scuffs, fingerprints. So we're gonna just actually test this. I don't even know what's gonna happen. And this is the good way. This is the best way, I feel, to just kind of kill some stuff, clean it up, give yourself a good shot before you make a decision on a thing. Just find any sort of. I have a bunch of extra cleaners for my glasses, so go get yourself a nice little soft microfiber cleaning cloth, and a little bit of 91% alcohol. To be honest, just a dab, one little spot there on your little rag, and then go ahead and use that wet area. Go over once, and then switch to the dry part. Go ahead and buff it out. I mean, I've never been scared. I apply a little bit of pressure. I'm not too scared of like breaking the disc or anything like that. So yeah, that was pretty good. Let me see. You can probably get this little. I don't know if you saw, there was almost like a sticker or something. Oh yeah, baby. All right, so there was all sorts of junk on there, and there was, I didn't know if that was just fingerprints, if it was some other grit, but now I can tell it's just scratched up. It wasn't disc rut. You can see how clean the baby is. You can, now you just see all the scratches, but it took off all of that extra grit. And everything like that, and that's a good way to clean up a game. You can retest it after this to see if it works, and we'll go do one more here. I think we got another dirty one of these, but yeah, that way you can test it out. You can see if it works. Another good example is, we'll just do it one more time here with this Burnout game, because this is one of the things you'll see. Hopefully you can see the fingerprints there, and then of course some scratching and stuff, and so that's what the fingerprints can really look, kind of like a disc rut. And sometimes if you, or like soda, I've seen games that have stuff spilt on it and it dries like sticky, so you're like, oh, what is that? But it'll come, comes right off, really. And like I said, this will give you, and it would probably kill anything, in my opinion. It's, rubbing alcohol. It would probably take care of any, if something was lingering or starting or something like that. Now I'm actually a little curious. I feel like this might have some rot on it that I didn't see. So go ahead, but you can see how clean that just that little bit gets it. There almost look to be like a discoloration spot, so I'll be checking this one out. But that gives you a good general idea. Just that's what to look for. That's how to kind of clean up. Another way. Basically, you don't have to worry about it. If you have a bunch of clean games that are in their original cases and you've got them stored properly, and you don't have a bunch of intense lights and heat and stuff. And I mean, like, it's intense. I'm sure you live in an area, like I live in an area, it gets pretty hot. We do have, we get moisture and stuff like that, but I don't seem to have too much of a problem with any of my original stuff. I haven't had stuff just turn bad, turn on me and stuff. So yeah, just take care of your collection, clean it up, check it every once in a while, wipe it down like we just showed you. I mean, that's free. A couple of bucks, go buy some alcohol, get a couple cloths or whatever, and you can just check, really keep maintain, keep care, and you can avoid a lot of this. I personally, you know, don't go out there and be like, you were wrong, easy, but hey, I think this stuff will last. If you put in the time, this stuff can last for as long as we're going to need it to last. You know, I mean, preservation down the road, who knows? Who ultimately knows how long this stuff will hold up? Maybe forever, maybe it'll be in the next few years, all of it will decline. But we're here now, and that's what I've said. So I hope you enjoyed just this short. We wanted to do some more kind of collection care stuff like this. It was fun, and like I said, this one came across. We don't get to address it. I kind of looked up some stuff on Discrot. There wasn't like a ton of information, and now you have my opinion. So that's what to look out for. That's what to do, and don't pick any of those things up at yard sales. Maybe avoid some of the storage stuff, but you know, you can't. If you want to get those killer scores, you got to take some chances sometime. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. As always, take it easy, and we'll see you next time on Brothers Forge Gaming.
Brothers Forge Gaming.